Okay guys, an update on what's going on with my Huey. I've managed to fix nearly every part. I did have it flying. That's where it was broken, where that Florida flag is there at the back. I've reinforced that and then put that flag on the back tail. It was the only way forward. Flywing has been on to me by their official website on YouTube, and they said please make sure that you check all your screws before flying, and they're looking forward to my next flight. But unfortunately my back servo is gone. It's at the back here. Yeah, I know, what a bummer. Ready to go and then that fails on me. So I'm gonna have to get a new back servo, and I'm going to have to fit that. That's going to take a week before I can get it. I wasn't offered any parts by Flywing, or there was no kind of like apology or anything like that. Not that I'm looking for one, but you know, they just said, oh, tighten your screws. And what they don't realise is that video that got 6,000 views, which is called Death from the Sky, what they don't realise is, even though I saved the helicopter, the tail motor or the tail rotor, no, it's a motor, isn't it? Because that's a brand new one there. That was unusable because when I went to fly her again after doing all the checks, she span out of control, and that's what did that damage there underneath there. So there's a brand new tail motor in her. But this is the thing, if you're looking in Flywing, why are your tail motors failing? And I'm not talking about falling off, I'm talking about failing people after, you know, a couple of flights even. And I really and truly, when you're paying out this type of money, you expect the tail motor to last at least a little bit longer than a couple of flights, you know. But yeah, I wasn't offered any parts or any freebies or anything like that. But look, you know, I'll get on with it. I'm not looking for free stuff anyway off Flywing. So unfortunately I can't fly her because that back servo needs replacing. It's not doing its job correctly, and I have to replace that before I continue on, before I can move forward. So that's what's keeping me grounded at the present moment. Just please be very careful about your tail rotor. And yes, I was going to give you a tip about that, and this is where it gets very interesting. If you over tighten these screws, your tail motor will stall. Isn't that crazy? Well, it's true, because there's a part of the shaft that's going through here onto the onto the blade here, and that goes right to the back, and that's why you have this kind of round piece of plastic coming out here. If you tighten these screws, over tighten these screws, what happens is that shaft rubs against the inner part of the fuselage and will stop your tail motor from working correctly. So that's the tip that I said I would give to you. Yes, tighten them, but if you over tighten them, then you're in trouble. You can see the way there's a kind of, you know, a lip kind of there, and that's where your main shaft from your tail motor is going to be coming against, and if you over tighten it, it'll actually be rubbing on the inside here, and that's going to stop your tail rotor from operating. And you know, it's all very well for Flywing saying, you know, tighten your screws, but if you over tighten them, you're going to be in trouble, because that tail motor will be rubbing on the inside of this of the fuselage, and that will you know, your tail motor may run correctly, but when you take off, it will tighten too much. It will be rubbing off on the inside here, and that will stop that tail motor from operating correctly, and you will be in big trouble. So I'm waiting on a back servo, and I think that's really it. Then I'll be doing a flight, and I will do a video on that. But remember what I said about this tail motor. If you over tighten it, it can jam the blade, can jam the motor. All of a sudden be just stop, and then you're going to be in trouble. And no one has ever thought about that. No one's ever talked about it. So I just said, you know what? I must tell the guys. I must tell them, do not over tighten these 3 screws here. You can see I have the washers on as well. I had to buy all these. These are all new, by the way. And I had to buy the rotor, or the motor, tail motor. I had to buy a couple of other pieces. They're new blades, by the way, I have on her. The old blades are hacked. So, yeah. Once I get the servo, should be up and flying again. So I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye from now. Bye-bye.